Hello YouTube, it's gopernoper, and today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the Zeiss Ikon Contessa. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded because over break I had no internet access whatsoever because I was not here. And everywhere I went we did not have internet or my camera, so let's get started right away. My voice sounds a little funny because I have a cold right now. But this is a compact folding 35mm rangefinder from around the 40s, and my thoughts on videos are not like, go over the camera. This is a review in the sense that it's actually a review, not let's take a look at the camera and its features. I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the camera alone. So first I want to talk about just how great the finish is on this camera. I mean, you have to really see one in real life to appreciate it. I've seen photos of this thing, but it really doesn't do the camera justice until you're able to handle one yourself. I mean, look at this. Even the inside of the film doors, or not the film door, the front door is finished. And the chrome plating is very high quality, you can tell. There's not a lot of brassing. I mean, there's a little bit in the corners right here, but that's it. This uses an actual film door, which is very nice. I like the loading mechanism on this spool. It works well and quickly. In terms of features on the camera, my thoughts is, they're more of a, this was fantastic for the time. I mean, a 1/500th of a second top speed was pretty good for the day. I mean, if you take a look, we have an aperture range of f/22 all the way to f/2.8 and a shutter speed range of 1/500th of a second all the way to 1 second and bulb. On the front of the camera, we have our lens here. This is a 45mm Zeiss-Opton Tessar lens, and this one has the synchro-compur leaf shutter behind it. There's really no variance, but I'm sorry. I'm very tired. My apologies. But anyways, this lens is really fantastic. I love this lens. I know I say that all the time, but I do. This is a fantastic lens. I mean, it's a Zeiss. What is there to complain about? But this lens gets really great contrast and is very, very sharp. It produces some really, really nice looking photos. I mean, it's just a great lens. I mean, it's not interchangeable, so you can only use it with this camera, but it's a good lens, or a great lens on a great camera. The viewfinder's a bit squinty for my taste, and this is where we get into the one downside to this camera. It's mostly made to have good features and look good and take pictures. I'd say it's more meant for what I used it for, nature photography, because this thing is not fast to operate at all. It's a very slow operating camera. I mean, just look at the positioning of some of the knobs and dials on this thing. I mean, this aperture selection ring is really small and actually kind of hard to get to at first. Especially if it's a bit sticky, you're going to have a lot of trouble changing aperture in a hurry. The shutter speed ring is not bad, but it could be better because there's a lot of stuff to get caught on over here. The focus ring is in a good spot. It's front element focusing only, but sometimes you might have to be careful so you don't cover up the viewfinder or anything while you focus. And it is kind of a long reach sometimes. Down here, the flash type selection switch is very hard to access with the front door, and it's not in a great spot. The sync post is in kind of an odd position. I would prefer for it to be more like over here, so that it's closer to the hot shoe, or the cold shoe, excuse me. Meter on this thing, don't bother with it. It's, if you can even find one that's working, it's really, it's better just to use the Sunny 16 rule. And as you can see, my meter is working. So, I will leave my overall scores and any other thoughts if I have them in the description, but I'd like to talk about my favorite pictures and move on to showing you the rest of them. If any other thoughts on the camera crop up while I'm showing these to you, I will let you know. So for this roll, I actually have two favorite pictures, and I'll have to explain why. The reason I'm not including both of these is because one of them is a bit of an erroneous photo. This is my first one, and I just really like the composition on this one and the way the colors are rendered, I guess you would say. Because, you know, the road looks really nice cutting through the landscape like that. You have the snow and all the trees. I don't know, I just like the framing on this one. I think this is a really nice photo. And this is the other one, and you can definitely see there's something strange going on here. I believe this was caused by either an accidental double exposure, which I know wasn't supposed to be possible, but, you know, I actually found the release lever for the shutter that can be triggered independently without having to wind the film. So I might have messed around with that a little bit, accidentally set it off. But either this is a double exposure or the sunlight just, whoop, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. But either that or the sunlight just, you know, made these bands appear on the photo. But I will be able to include all 24 photos in the roll this time, which would be very nice because I can show you guys everything. And the music in the background this time is going to be a jazz song called Gospel by Carl Straumann. It's not actually religion related, it's just called Gospel because it has sort of a gospel-ish feel to it. It's not affiliated in any way with any sort of religion, nor is it affiliated with mine. But anyways, without further ado, I give you the pictures taken with the Zeiss Ikon Contessa.